Let's see if we can make a distinction here about the narcissism and then malignant narcissism. Some of you have heard that term, and I want to see if we can get some clarity to that. Actually, malignant narcissism was a term that was coined by an Eric Fromm back in the 1960s, and he's the gold standard. He's the North Star, and I've read so much of his material, and I guess we can say, popularized that term. But before we go all the way into an understanding of malignant narcissism, let's understand some of the primary ingredients of narcissism. As I'm going through these ingredients, I want you to just imagine these in their exaggerated sense. For example, narcissists must be in control. It's not like they want to be in control. They have to be in control. They have low levels of empathy towards others. They have a real strong sense of entitlement. This is what I want, this is what I need, and you owe it to me. They're very exploitive and manipulative in the way that they engage with people. Narcissists honestly believe they're superior, and they have to be in the superior position, and they look at you from their on-high perch, if you will. They're pathologically defensive. You can't get through to them. They don't receive input because they don't feel like they need input. Of course, part of that is their creation of their false self. They've convinced themselves that they're so much different and more unique than everyone else that if anyone has opinions that differ from them, then they can't be wrong, at least in their mind. They operate with alternate reality. They make up their truth, if you will, as they go along to suit whatever their whim or need of the moment may be. And then narcissists also have an ability to create a temporary favorable public impression. Okay, so those are the basics when we're looking at the subject of narcissism. Now, add that word malignant to it, and then you get a pretty bad combination. In fact, Eric Fromm actually goes so far as to say that these people have crossed the line into the world of evil. Beneath their narcissism is an extra layer of, let's just say, meanness. They have an element of sociopathy, the antisocial personality. They don't have a well-developed conscience at all. And as a result, morality to them is just whatever they need it to be in the moment, if they even think about it at all. They have no need or willingness to appeal to authority. They are the authority, so no authority has any kind of say over them. They want no accountability, and they'll shun any kind of accountability. In other words, they have a very poorly developed conscience, which means that they can go into their place of ruthlessness rather easily. They're impervious to the pain that they generate in other individuals. If you feel discomfort by being in their presence or for some interaction you've had, in their mind, it's like, well, first, you caused it. Second, you probably deserve it anyway. They don't care. There's just a low sense of consciousness at all about, and conscientiousness about how they impact other individuals. When we think of narcissists, very commonly we know that they tend to play the victim's role pretty easily. The malignant narcissist will take it even further, and it's like they have a pretty strongly developed paranoia. It's like, you people out there, I know you're jealous of me. I know that you think I'm so good and you want to bring me down, but I've got news for you. That's not going to happen. And so they are watching for any kind of sign that you may be against them or you may want to come and bring them down. And so they want to jump on that before you have a chance to do things, which means that their control is just an uber need for control. When we say that narcissists are entitled, the malignant narcissist is entitled all the time. And they have no sense of servitude or helpfulness or tenderness. It's like, I don't need to do that. They just want people to cater to them. And if you ask them, simple things like menial chores or things of that nature, it's like, no, I don't do that. I mean, to the point where, are you kidding me? Do you know who I am? They have a very low level of guilt, sometimes to the point of zero. It's like you'll sometimes hear them say something like, I don't need forgiveness. If you ever talk to them about that, it's like, no, I don't need forgiveness, because they ascribe almost a godlike nature to their own selves. And they're truly unable to see their own shortcomings. If there's a shortcoming between you and them, It's always going to be you. And so when we're talking about the malignant narcissist, we're talking bad news. These people, like I say, with no conscience, they have no need or desire to engage with you in an uplifting way at all. You're just going to be somebody that they can use, and then when they're finished with you, they're going to toss you off to the side like you're some sort of rotten meat, and then they'll just move on to the next victim. So knowing this, you want to keep a very low level of personal connection with these people. They don't know how to do relationships well at all. They don't understand the nature of love whatsoever. You want to have very strong boundaries with them, because they'll want to do nothing more than to step in and tell you who you need to be and how you need to live your life and what your priorities are. And if you don't fit with the program, they'll just make you feel miserable if you don't. That being the case, you make no effort to reform them. They're not going to be reformed. Instead, at your very first opportunity, get away from them. These folks are bad news, and they're individuals that once you see it and understand what you're dealing with, then the best thing you can do is to say, I get it. I have much better things that I need to do with my life. I'm moving on. One last thought. When you see people of this nature and realize that this is deeply embedded, I'm hoping it motivates you to be the better alternative. These are truly troubled souls, and there's a deep, deep history as to how they got there. Part of it is sometimes it's just built into their DNA, and then the rest of it is there are environmental influences that take them to the place that they are, but they're not going to change. And so I'm hoping at the very least you can look at them and recognize, I can do better, I will do better, but I need to do it away from their presence entirely if possible. So I hope this gives you an idea of what we're looking at, and then I hope it gives you a sense that says, I'm going to use my knowledge about that to make myself the better alternative.